Thank you very much for coming today, everyone. This is Demystifying Stage 2 of LearnIT2teach on Avenue with Vesna Radivojevic and Paul Carter. We're just going to begin with a land acknowledgement. New Language Solutions is based in Ottawa, Ontario, and we acknowledge that our head office is on the traditional unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe people. Beyond Ottawa, we have staff working in locations across Canada. New Language Solutions is grateful to have the opportunity to work as a guest in communities and territories across the country. And we honor the stewardship of the many Indigenous peoples who have resided on these lands since time immemorial. I respectfully acknowledge that I live and work within the ancestral and unceded traditional territories of the Hul'qumi'num and Suncotan speaking people. And Vesna, if you'd like.
I acknowledge that Vancouver Community College is located on the traditional unceded territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh peoples who have been stewards of this land from time immemorial. And I recognize my privileges as a white person, an immigrant woman, a woman who with the Canadian citizenship, and I am committed to taking action to contribute to change.
Thank you very much for that, Vesna. And if anyone would like to post in the chat what area you are from and what traditional lands those might be, that would be wonderful. We really appreciate that. So welcome to our session today. We're going to start with an outline. Vesna, if you'd like to talk about that.
Sure. Why this workshop? So maybe you are new to Avenue, or you are new to Link and new to Avenue, or maybe you haven't had a chance to or time or opportunity to do this training. And we thought that it would be good to give you an overview and help you strategize, because we are aware that it can be overwhelming if you need to teach, use the courseware, do the training, and learn all other ropes at the same time. So that's why we wanted to help you with this stage. And you can see the outline, and we'll go right to the next slide.
Thank you. So this is Vesna. As you can see, I've known Vesna for a long time. She's a leader in Link in her role at VCC and in the Link program. I feel really lucky to work with her as a fellow mentor here in British Columbia. And she has done so many workshops and shared so much of her knowledge with all of us that it's immeasurable. So thank you, Vesna, for joining me today and for helping the teachers with this.
Well, thank you, Paul, for that, for those kind words. I feel the same, and I'm not sure if an introduction is necessary, as Paul is well known in the Link field, and he wears many hats. If you go to Live Help, the chances are that you have talked with him. Some of you may have Paul as your mentor. You're lucky. If you attend conferences across Canada or go to LearnIT2teach webinars, you have met Paul. He has done, I don't know how many, hundreds of workshops probably. Paul works also as an Avenue resource developer alongside with other developers. So you probably have some of the modules that he worked on with other developers. And I think, Jen, you are one of them as well, if I am not mistaken.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you. And having collaborated with Paul on several projects, I really value Paul's not only extensive knowledge and skills in the field, but also his calm presence and willingness to explain complex concepts really patiently, and his sense of humor and ability to adapt to different roles seamlessly. So I also feel lucky to be working with Paul.
Thank you, Vesna. That was supposed to be shorter than what's on the screen.
Yeah, well, I just wanted
sweet.
to say that.
That's very nice. I really appreciate that. And I wanted to check. I noticed in the chat, someone said they couldn't see the slides. Can anyone else not see the slides? And maybe Jen or Marjan, if you could mention, can you see what's on the screen? Help with Avenue? Yeah, okay, really good. Thank you so much, Vesna. That was a wonderful introduction. We're going to move forward now with the next slide. Help with Avenue. There's a lot of help out there, a lot of resources, both through live help on the LearnIT2teach website and through your mentor. So we're going to take a quick look at that now. LearnIT2teach.ca, that's our public portal. And on the public portal, you can find lots of different information. There's all kinds of resources that are announced here, but in the support tab, if you scroll down Avenue Support, I'm just going to get rid of this chat in case it's in front of the view. Okay, on the support tab on the LearnIT2teach.ca site, you can go down to Avenue Support, and across from there, you'll find the Avenue Stage 2 support, Stage 3 support, and Avenue More Help. Stage 2 is what we're looking at today. And what you'll find here is a collection of PDFs that go through most of the things that are in the Stage 2 course. There's also the same for Stage 3, and then Avenue More Help is a great page to visit as well. This has things that are not in the training, that are outside the training or related to the training. So lots of great information here. And in particular, I'll draw your attention to the ePortfolio files section. A lot of different PDFs there to help you with the ePortfolio and different types of administration or creating and customizing content as well. Now,
sorry for the interruption, Paul.
Yeah.
Mehran is still having problems with seeing, like, it
What's
says
on the screen?
a black screen.
Okay, I'm not
It's only a
sure.
black screen, and I'm not sure how we can help
Yes.
other than trying to share the PowerPoint, if that will help at all. Yeah, device. Yes, that's always.
Okay, yeah. They refresh. Okay, looks like they're going to
Thank you
try to
for your help,
refresh. Appreciate that.
Jen. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for helping in the chat there. We do appreciate that.
Thank you, Jen.
It's nice to have some mentors in the room.
Yeah.
Now, in the same vein, on LearnIT2teach.ca, at all times, down in the bottom corner of the screen, you'll find this green widget. And if you click on this green widget, it will open up a live help chat. And what you'll find there is a mentor Monday to Friday during business hours. And you can leave a message outside of those hours, which will be forwarded to your mentor and they can follow up. But if I come here to the live help chat and I type in a question, for example, hello, can you please tell me if Avenue is running today? Okay. That's ringing a telephone, and a mentor named John, who many of you probably know from other webinars, is going to answer. There he is. So John has just joined the chat, and this is in live time. The mentors can log into your course, and they can see what you see, and they can help you in real time. Okay, he says, yes, it is. I'm going to say, thank you. You better go catch it. And then I'll give him a smiley. We'll see what John says to that. This is all to demonstrate that it is in real time and these mentors are there to help you. Okay, maybe he doesn't find that amusing. Oh, ... Okay, I'm going to say, it's Paul. Quick demo. Thanks, John. Okay, so that's live help. It's really excellent. I've just interrupted John's day, perhaps another call he was helping someone on, but just to show you that it is in real time. And there is a mentor there to help you during the weekdays, and leaving a message will also get you some help. No worries, I also have Prince Albert in a can. Okay, so I'm going to say cheers. I will close that down and move forward. So that's the live help. There is the support tab. There are also lots of other resources on this page. You can find the webinars here and the archive of the past webinar recordings. So lots of information for you on LearnIT2teach.ca. In addition to that, you can always email your mentor at any time during the training, and mentors are quick to reply and happy to help. Another place you can look for help is in the Avenue Teacher Only forum. So I have that open on another tab here. The Avenue Teacher Only Forum is a place where you can post a discussion topic to ask a question, or you can remember that there's the search forums here. So if I was to put into the search forums, say rubric and e-portfolio, and then hit enter, it's going to search through, and there's 21 different posts that include rubric and e-portfolio. So I could scroll through these, and I may find that my question has already been answered. Or if I don't find the answer, I can always go to the Avenue Teacher Only forum and click on Add a New Discussion Topic. And then I can ask my question here, and teachers from all across Canada will be able to answer, as well as mentors and administration. So this is a great resource, the Avenue Teacher Only forum, and it also includes some blocks on the side, related links, so frequently asked questions, development progress. Webinars are here again with the archive of the webinar recordings. And then this is an interesting block, teacher postings with Avenue related resources. So these are teachers who have shared a post in this forum that included some sort of resource. I see a lot of videos here, an Avenue student manual, some videos for low-level learners. So lots of great resources in the Avenue Teachers Only forum. Lots of things to find to get help. Your mentor is always there in live help as well. Needs assessment. For our webinar today, we wanted to get a feeling for who's here and for what they're doing. So I'm going to stop the share now, and we're going to run a couple of quick polls. Just go into the polls. We'll start with poll number 1. If you don't mind taking a moment to answer the question, we're wondering, how long have you been using Avenue? Have you just started? Have you been using it for a few weeks, a few months, half a year, or a year or more? Okay. Interesting results. I see 7 of 10, 8 of 10 people have answered, 9 of 10. Excellent. Maybe one more person to click an answer there if they'd like. Okay, that's pretty good.
Sorry, Paul. Because I'm joining on the phone.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah, it's just I can't see the poll. Sorry about that.
No problem. I'll end the poll now and share the results. And you can see that a lot of people have just started. So this is excellent. Really glad that you've joined us today. Some have been on for a few weeks, a few months, a couple of people for half a year or more. We do have mentors in the room, so that does make sense. But we were hoping this webinar would help people who had kind of got stuck, or maybe feeling like they were a bit overwhelmed by it all. So we'll take a look at our next question here. I'm going to go back. Poll number 2. If you don't mind, are you teaching blended online or face-to-face classes only? If it's online only, or a combination of online and face-to-face, that would be blended, or face-to-face only. Okay, I see a lot of people are answering online. One person has said face-to-face only so far. With face-to-face only, it's still possible to do the training. It's just a matter of giving your students extra resources or extra practice activities that they could use on Avenue, and making that available to them so they can access your course and use those activities. Online only. Okay, looks like almost everyone has answered, so I'll end that poll and share the results. As would be expected in linked programs, quite a spread there. It's fairly even across the board, with mostly online and then blended and face-to-face coming in. Thank you very much for sharing that. I'll stop sharing that now, and we'll go back. Poll number 3, we're wondering if you've finished pre-stage 2 already. Is that completed? I see yes. Good. That was in the description. Okay, perfect. 100% everyone said yes. Thank you everyone for doing that in advance. I'm going to end the poll and share the results. Pre-stage 2 is where you're introduced to the editing features of Avenue. So that's very useful that everyone has done that already for today's session. I'm going to go back. We've got one more poll for this part of the session today. And we're wondering, if you're in stage 2, are you referring to the assessment form as you go through each stage of the training? Okay. I should have put a third option. What's the assessment form? Question mark. I forgot. Okay, no, but I will now. Good, good, good. Okay. The stage 2 assessment form is what you submit to your mentor when you're finished all the tasks for stage 2. So it's the place to keep track of what you're doing and make sure that you've done everything before you submit it. It's also where you can include your reflective statements. So we'll talk about these things as we go forward. Okay, almost everyone's answered. A few have said yes, but most did say no, but I will now. And we will show that to you today, and we'll talk about it as well, so you can see what we mean about it being a sort of checklist that you can follow. Okay, so I'm going to end those polls for now. We'll go back to sharing the screen. Stop sharing. Oops, back. Okay, close that. There, and share. Okay, I believe I'm back on my PowerPoint there. So that was the needs assessment for our session. And now Vesna's going to talk about stage 2 requirements.
Thank you, Paul. We really hope there will be something for everyone, like from that everybody can take something from this workshop. So it is very important to download the stage 2 assessment form, and we will show you where you can find it if you haven't downloaded it yet. So in the section orientation and assessment, this is where you find the Word document, and it's a fillable Word doc. And make a note of everything that is mandatory in the course is what is basically on this form. So that can help you decide what to focus on. Because if you look and want to read every document, watch every video that is in this stage, you will be overwhelmed and you won't know where to focus on, especially because you don't have that many hours for this stage. So it will help you just do what you need to do in order to complete the stage, but also find out more about the things you want to learn. So you don't have to do everything that is in this stage. Look at all the documents, but there is much more than you need, so that if you want to learn more, you have options. So another section is getting started section, and getting started means basically what you need to do, what you need to be able to do in order to use your courseware. And maybe you are not new to Moodle, and if you're not, then of course you know how to show and hide a course, how to turn course editing on, and so on. But sometimes, especially beginners, they're excited, they get their courseware, and then they bring it into the classroom or on and ask students to go and go in and log in, and then students say, oh, we don't see the course. And that's why this is important. So in your course edit settings, you can make sure that your course is showing, and you can also do other things that are necessary to make sure that to prepare your course in order for your students to be able to do what they need, what you want them to do. So that is a section that maybe you can consult. Like, you don't have to click every video or click every link, but if there is something that you are wondering about, just browse through the files and see if there is something that you need to know and you're not and you don't know at the moment. So just to kind of wrap your head around stage 2, what is important to know, understand that there are 3 components. So one can be called theoretical, and you can see, like, we will show you and demonstrate, like show you in the course where everything is. So one part is theoretical, one part is practical. Practical means you use Avenue with your class for 6 or more hours. and the reflective piece, which is you are telling us how your students reacted, how they are using Avenue, how you feel about using Avenue, and you do your self-assessment. So maybe, Paul, at this time, maybe we can go back to the course and just show everyone where these components and where these sections, where they can find them. So if you scroll down, so this is one of the, I call it theoretical part, but it's not only theoretical, it's of course it's practical as well. So there is at the bottom of this section, there is a quiz. And this quiz is mandatory. So you can do the quiz and redo it as many times as you want and not even look at the files or not look at the videos. And you need a score, I think 70, well, sorry, 80%. And if you are not familiar with the vocabulary like edit settings or course settings, blocks, file handling, what else is there? You have grade book. Then I would recommend checking the files, or if you are a visual learner, you can also, there at the top, there are videos, course management videos. So with the links, like if you open that first PDF file, you will see the links to all the videos, I believe. Yes. So if there is something you're not sure about how to do, you're new to Moodle, you will probably need a little bit more time just checking certain things. And everything that is here, basically calendar, gradebook, participants, and blocks, there will be questions about these in that quiz. So that's one part. And then another part that is also, I call it theoretical, is good teaching principles. And this is something that, and always read the instructions, of course. And then you need to post in the forum. And as you can see, this is also mandatory. And you are required to participate in the forum. You can read the instructions. If it is you post one and then you respond to at least one. Your mentor, once you are done with, you think you have completed all the requirements, your mentor will also go in and check that you indeed participated in the conversations. And some mentors, they also reply to some of the messages. So this is a way also, everything you do in the stages, training stages, is especially this one, is something that you would like your students to be able to do. So having this experience will help you use the courseware and understand how your students are feeling when you are asking them to do certain things in your course. For example, participating in a forum or doing a quiz and so on and so forth. So that is the theoretical part. Practical part, as I said, when you complete pre-stage 2, you ask your mentor to you request a course basically, or more courses. They can be in one level or more levels. And then these are the things that you need to show you can do. And you will be just letting us know that you have done this by inserting a link to everything that is required. For example, you will add a needs assessment with a choice, and then you will that example, and maybe you will do it multiple times, but you will choose one choice activity, and then in your assessment form you will give us a link to that activity so that we can go in your course and say, yes, this candidate has done this. It also helps, and maybe later when we look at the form, we can tell you a little bit more about that. So that's the practical part. And reflective part, as I said, it's about students' feedback, your reflection, and self-assessment. So did I? Yeah, okay. So Paul, I think you are next now.
Thank you, Vesna. That was excellent. So one of the requirements for Stage 2 is the Good Teaching Principles Forum that we showed you there in the Stage 2 course. So I'll just go back there quickly in the Stage 2 course. And oops, did I miss it? I missed it. Sorry about the scrolling, everyone. A little too much up and down. There it is, Good Teaching Principles Review. So there is a document that you need to read. That does talk about the 7 good teaching principles by Chickering and Gamson. And then in the forum, you need to make a post and reply to a post as well to share your ideas or your thoughts about that. So you're going to read the reading and then explain how activities or resources in the courseware can support one of the 7 teaching principles. An example would be that SCORMs, or shareable content object referent models, which is a fancy way to say an activity, provide prompts, feedback, forums, encourage teacher to student and student to student interaction. These are just some of the examples of how it can support the teaching principles. So in that one, you're going to write a post, a few paragraphs about what you think and reply to someone as well. Another one of the requirements is course management and managing learning activities. And Vesna, you were going to speak to that a bit. I think you did just a moment ago, though. But if you'd like to say more.
I think I spoke too much.
It's okay. You got a few slides ahead.
I got carried away.
Yeah.
Sorry, Paul.
No problem. Just as a quick recap, as you said, there are files or videos that you can watch about the management features of Avenue, and then there's a quiz to check your understanding of those. And you need to achieve 80% or higher to move forward. And then the whole section there, managing learning activities. This is a wonderful section in the Stage 2 course. Great information here. And just as a quick reminder, if you go to the public portal without logging in, Stage 2 support under the support tab, you can also find the course management documents there as well. So you don't even need to log in to access these, but they're in the course or on the portal, whatever suits your needs the best. So just moving along here, another requirement for Stage 2 is the ideas for applying task. Now, this is a requirement, but it's also an excellent resource. In this task, what you need to do is add an idea for applying something in your Avenue Link course using technology. What you can do is look at the entries that are already there from past trainees to get inspiration and get new ideas for yourself. And then if there's something that you've done that's successful, you can share that with others. Teachers from coast to coast to coast are in this Stage 2 course. So it's not just a static place. It's a place where there's a lot of sharing happening. You can think, for example, of how you might use a choice activity or how you might use the calendar, the different blocks, forums, and other activities, any of the functions in Avenue. And we'll just go into the Stage 2 course now, and we'll go down below to, I think it's above. I'm sorry, I'm scrolling on you again. Getting started, course management, scrolling down. Managing learning activities. There it is. So in the managing learning activities section, you go through all the different documents there, or the videos if you prefer. And then the ideas for applying is a glossary, and I'll click on it just to give you an idea for what it looks like. And in this glossary are all of these different entries by the trainees. As you can see, there's some videos have been shared, different ideas. There's a PDF someone has shared. What do you like about Canada? So different ideas for how you can use Avenue with your students and use technology to help learners with their settlement language needs. There's one from Sepide, a book, a module. Excellent resources here. So when it's your turn, you come to this glossary and you're going to click on add a new entry to add your idea to the glossary for everyone else to get ideas from. So that's the ideas for applying task, which is also a requirement. We had a few examples here that some teachers have added in the past, using HTML blocks to use to share great websites. creating a teacher intro video to say hello to your students, adding links in a block to specific things for your school or community, using forums asynchronously or synchronously to give students a chance to practice different types of language, and using other 2.0 tools like Quizlet and Padlet and Edpuzzle, using the binder or the ePortfolio and the help block, lots of different things that you could share in that section. So that's the ideas for applying tasks, a place to get ideas and to share one of your own. And it is mandatory for stage 2, and your mentor will be checking to see what you've added when the time comes. I'm going to turn over to Vesna again for stage 2 requirement about making tutela.
Should I assume that all of you are on tutela? And if you are, so that is one requirement you have met. And if you have used tutela and maybe downloaded any kind of activity or like even a Word document with an activity, skill building, skill using, or an assessment task, and used it in your with your class and added to your avenue, you have met that requirement too. So it's really easy to meet this requirement, and maybe you have already met this requirement, and all you have to do is go to your self-assessment form and say how you use tutela as part of your course delivery. It's easy.
Yeah, that's
so
a good one.
we can move on.
Perfect. The next part is the practical tasks. This is where you're doing customization of your courseware, adding new activities or resources for your students. So we've got them kind of written down in a little list for you here. Adding a course outline or file, posting in the announcements, adding a teacher contact information page, adding a course relevant web link, a choice or needs assessment poll, using labels, adding or removing or moving a block, adding a course calendar event, or adding a new course topic. Now, hopefully everyone's semi-familiar with what these different things are. And as you can see, it says name of link to file, or name of page link, or name of poll. This is where you're going to type on your assessment form to let your mentor know where to find these things that you've created or added to your course. So I'm going to stop the share again now. We still have a good half hour of our session. We wanted to demonstrate things next, and we thought we'd ask the group what you wanted to see the most. So we've got one final poll here. I'm going to launch that. Hopefully everyone can see it. And the question is, what would you most like to see demonstrated? And we thought we'd do our demonstrations in the order of what people would like to see the most. If you don't really have an opinion and you want to see it all, that's not a choice. We'll do our best. We'll do our best to move through them as quickly as we can. But this would be the part of the session where you can also go on to another tab and follow along in your course if you'd like to, if you've got your courseware set up and if you've got that from your mentor already. Okay, I'm seeing add a label. We've got one person would like to see that, and adding a choice or needs assessment poll. Okay, 2 people are talking about the choice or needs assessment poll. Okay, we won't wait too long here. I'm guessing some people are thinking, I'd like to see it all, please.
And you can say that in the chat. And this this list comes directly from the assessment form that you need to fill in. So maybe today, even as Paul said, if you want to follow along, you can meet some requirements that are necessary, and then you have less work to do. It's more like documenting than anything else.
Exactly, exactly. Okay, well, definitely choice and definitely a label then. We'll do those 2 for sure. And then whatever time is remaining, we'll carry on and do those as well. So I'll just share those quickly so we're being democratic about things. It was choice and label that were requested.
Yeah.
So choice was on the list of things that I was going to demonstrate. So I'll start with that one. I'm going to close that and I'll share my screen again. This time I'm going to share my whole screen. Share. Okay. Now, I'd just like to check. I've shared my whole screen. Vesna, could you let me know when I put this folder up here? Can you see that now?
I can see the folder, like I can see
Okay.
your
And the folder's over top
documents.
of our PowerPoint.
Yes.
Excellent, really good. So I'm going to open up, we've been talking about it, and I've got one here, the Stage 2 assessment form. Just quickly so you can see this in context for what we're about to demonstrate. The Word document is opening, and can you see the Word document now?
Yes.
Excellent, thank you. So this is the Stage 2 assessment form, and if I go back again to the Stage 2 course, I'm going to click on the top, returning to the Stage 2 course main page, orientation and assessment section. You'll find that document there. So this is what it looks like. It's fillable, so you can click here to enter your name and the date you submitted it, your mentor's name, the name of your courseware. A lot of people like to put Stage 2 there. The name of your courseware is the name of the course that you're using with your students, and that's where your mentor is going to go to assess your work. You can put your employer's name and then your sector. There's a few questions about your delivery context that you need to answer on the form. And then here's the hands-on training or customizing your courseware section. You'll need to click off each one of these as you complete them, and then add a link or a name of where to find this activity or resource in your course so that your mentor can go and check your work. So you'll need to do all of these, and if you've not completed any of them, you have to indicate why you have not. So that's the hands-on training section of the assessment form that we're going to be doing right now. And below that, you'll find the management quiz to report your score, and then checking off whether you've done those 2 mandatory tasks we spoke about, the ideas for applying and good teaching principles. The tutela section is here where you type what Vesna had mentioned, and then your reflective statement. I'm just going to mention this now while it's on the screen. There's a bit of confusion sometimes. Your reflective statement, you would self-assess your reflective statement with this rubric. And this rubric is where you find, what do I need to write about? So if you want to get a thorough score of 4 out of 4, you'd want to give lots of details about the delivery context. What is the level you're teaching? How many students do you have? What kind of technical and other obstacles did you encounter? Samples of strategies you used to address them. And you're typing this out in sort of long form. That's generally about 500 to 1,000 words. Answering the questions that are built into the rubric. You can then post or copy and paste or type your reflective statement here. And then when your mentor does your assessment, your mentor will add in here comments for you about what they've seen and what you've done. So that is the assessment form. And again, for our demonstration purposes right now, we're going to start off with added a choice or needs assessment poll. So I'm going to go back now, and I'm going to go into my course. So this is my course that I would use with my students. It's actually a sample course, so there are no students in this one except for my sample student. But the first step for any kind of customization or creation is to turn editing on in your course. So I'm going to do that now. This will activate different icons. I can move things around the page. I can show and hide objects. Or in the case of adding a choice, I can click on the Add a New Activity or Resource button or link at the bottom of the section I would like to add it to. So just quickly as I scroll through, your course will look similar to this when you get it. It does come preloaded with lots of modules and different activities. Some of the blocks you see on the side I've added myself. And then I've also added this section here, which is an empty topic section for our webinar today. So to do any kind of addition to the course, I'm going to need to click on this link in the section where I want the activity to be. So I click on Add an Activity or Resource, and this opens a window where I can choose from all the different activities or resource types. And for this demonstration, I'm going to, sorry, I scrolled too far. I'm going to click on Choice. Just to note, when you're here on this page, you can click on the I for information, and that will tell you what each activity or resource is and a link to more help with it as well. So if you're curious and you're not sure what something is, you can get information there. I'm going to go back now. For this one, we're going to choose the choice. And when I click on choice, it's going to add a new choice activity to my course in the section where I clicked on that link. But the first thing that opens is the settings page. And this is where I build my choice. So in the settings page, you'll see that some fields are mandatory, like the name. Some fields are not. But this is where all the sort of behind the scenes happens. So I'm going to give this choice a name. For our demonstration today, I'm going to call it Potluck Party. Okay, a choice is a single question with a multiple number of choices, and students can choose either one or multiple choices as you decide in the settings. Now, to get ready for this, I set up a couple of documents. I'm going to open up this Potluck Choice Word document. And this is where I've got the text that I would like to use for this choice demonstration. So we've got the name there. I'm going to copy all of my text here. Copy. If you're worried about copying and getting sort of hidden code that comes through, I like to sometimes use a notepad file. And in a notepad file, which is plain text, I can paste that Word document, and it's now removed all the formatting, any kinds of highlights or hidden code that Microsoft Word may have added. I copy that again from the notepad file. This isn't necessary, but sometimes you do get things you're not expecting. And I post that into the description. And so you'll see now the bold is gone. So that's a formatting code that was removed. I'm going to add that back. I can use my keyboard or I can use the toolbar. And I'm going to bold class potluck as well. I like a bit more space, so I'm going to add some spaces here. Get that there. And important to include some how-to instructions. So this does say that we're having a potluck on Friday and everyone has to bring one item from the list below. Only 2 people can choose each item. We're going to make that in the settings. So make your choice early. A little idiom for them here. This is first come, first served. We don't want to have just sweets again like last time. Has anyone been at that potluck? Yeah, everybody brought cookies, right? Now here's the sort of technical how-to. Please select one of the options below and click on the Save My Choice button. This kind of instructional language can really help students in the online environment. They know what they're talking, what they need to choose for the choice, but then how do they make that choice? So this kind of instruction is great. Now, I just wanted to demonstrate today for this choice that we're building, there's lots of tools here in the toolbar that we can use. We can also get more tools by clicking on the Expand the Toolbar button. We won't worry about the extra choices today, so I'm going to unexpand the toolbars. We already used bold, but if I wanted to, I could click here, put a space, and then click on the microphone and record my voice. I could record myself speaking right here in the editing window and put in audio instructions for the students as well. You can also add an image, you can add an audio file or a video file, all kinds of things. You can add a link, you can do different formatting things with the toolbar. So anywhere in your course you find this toolbar, you've got some powerful tools. I'm going to click on Add an Image for this one. I'm going to browse repositories. I'm going to upload a file, browse a file here. I'm going to go to my Demystifying. I had a little potluck party file saved for this. I'll just call it Potluck Party. So this is an image that I got from Unsplash. It's Creative Commons and free for use. The author is not me. I'm going to put Unsplash just for today. And it was Creative Commons. I'll upload that file. I can describe it here for someone who cannot see it. Potluck Party table of food. And then I can see my picture here. I can resize it if I like, can decide where I want it to be. I'll save that image. And now you'll see there's this beautiful image here in my, my description for the students as well. So that's going to get them thinking about food, hopefully. Now down below, as I scroll down, really important, these little blue question marks, they're all over the place in these settings pages. And what they do is they give you more information about complicated settings that you may not know what they're about. So I can display description on the course page or not by checking this box. But what does that mean? If I click on this question mark, I get a little pop-up that tells me a little bit about what that setting is for. So this is a really great tool. Don't forget those little blue question marks. They're very helpful. I can just choose how to display the options in the settings. I can allow the choice to be updated. I'm going to say yes in case a student changes their minds. Allow more than one choice to be selected. No, we want each student choosing just one. Limit the number of responses allowed. that means how many students can choose each option. So I'm going to say yes, because I only want one student to be, or sorry, 2 students to be able to choose each option. Show available spaces, we won't worry about that, but if you'd like to know more about that, you can click there. And option 1, I'm going to put here, I don't know, I'll just put suite. And then let's go down to limit. And that's only 2 students can choose the option suite. And then I'll make option 2 savory. We'll change that to only 2 students. Now remember, this is just an example, so I'm going to stop soon and just put drinks. It would be a very small potluck of only 6 students. So 2 students can choose sweet, 2 can choose savory, and 2 can choose drinks. I scroll down the setting page a bit more. You can always add more fields if you'd like more choices than that. These could be topics that the students want to study. These could be options for a field trip. There's lots of different ways. Topics for a group presentation, lots of ways to use the choice. Availability, if I expand this by clicking here, I can allow responses in a certain time frame. The results, I can not show the results to the students, but for this one, I think I would. So I'm going to show the results after they have answered. And then privacy, do I want their names or not? So full results showing names and choices or anonymous. Let's leave this one anonymous for some surprise at the potluck. Column for the unanswered. I like that one because it shows that some students haven't done it yet. And then you can include responses from inactive or suspended users, but we won't worry about that. There are some other settings that you can change here. Common module settings, for example, show or hide on the course page. Make available but not shown. Group modes if you're using groups, but we won't worry about these today. It's a very straightforward choice. No restrictions. Activity completion you can use if you'd like. There are documents to support you there, but we don't need it to do this. And choice is not an activity that can be tagged at this time, so we won't worry about that. Now, if I click on Save and Display, I think I took about 5 minutes there, and we've created a, well, a sort of needs assessment choice. Potluck party, nice picture there. We've got our instructions. And then down below, students will be able to choose from these 3 choices, only 2 per choice. And when they click on Save My Choice, that will save their choice for the teacher and for the other students to view when they've made their own choice. So I hope that was helpful and that I didn't go too quickly. The picture is not necessary, but it's one of these things in stage 2 where you can put in as much effort as you'd like. You could really just put the instructions and then the choices and then you're done. But if you'd like to add a picture like that, it'll make it a lot more engaging for the students and also for your mentor when they're doing your assessment. And it gives you a chance to try out the different tools. So that's a choice. The next most popular option today, Vesna, was the label. Would you like to show that one? Okay, I'm going to stop my share now.
Sure. Thank you, Paul. I'm always amazed when you are demonstrating how to do something because it goes so smoothly. You're doing it so skillfully and so fast. And and I learned something today too. And Paul showed you many options. Like you don't have to go. You can make a more like a simpler poll, but if you want to learn more, if you want to try new things, I think it's good for you to see what the possibilities are. So I'll demonstrate, now you'll suffer watching me demonstrate something after Paul. And we have a question in the chat, but I think it's more like something to talk about after this demonstration. And I'll do something very quickly, and it will be very simple thing. So I'm in a course and I turn editing on, and I just wanted to show to everyone that here you have edit settings, and this is for the whole course. And I am just here now editing the content. And I am going to add a label to a section. As you can see here, some teachers want to have week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 3 at the top, for example, so the students don't have to scroll all the way down, or a teacher doesn't have to scroll all the way down when they make changes. So I'll add something here So I'll go add an activity or resource, and label is right here, but this is where you can also find it, or if you click on all. So I'll click on label. Oops. And I'll also click to expand the toolbar. Sometimes teachers want to write, because if you have one section for 1 week, maybe you want to separate each day so that the students can find what you want them to do more easily. So I'll just write, for example, March 23rd, 2023. And as Paul mentioned and demonstrated, you can bold, you can make these letters bigger or smaller. And what I also like and appreciate that I can do here is I can use different color to draw students' attention. And also I can have the background in color. So I'll, for example, have background green. And I can now also make it longer so the students can notice it better. And I can also make these letters, let's say, white. And here you go. This is a label, and this is one of your requirements in stage 2. Labels are useful for many things, mainly to dress up your course a little bit, and also to draw your students' attention to where you want them to look. And that's all. So I'll just save it and return to course. And I don't know if I'm missing something, and if you want to add something, Paul, to this. Yeah, so here you go. And you can, sometimes teachers like to use labels to divide and say listening, speaking, reading, writing, or homework or online work for tomorrow. So anything that will help your students navigate your course better and with more ease. One of the tools you can use is a label.
Yeah,
so I'll stop
that's
sharing
fantastic. No, thank you, Vesna. That's fantastic. The only thing I'd add is like the choice that we looked at, and like any activity or resource in Moodle or Avenue, which is Moodle-based LMS, if there's an editing toolbar, you can add pictures, you can add video, you can add an audio recording or an audio file. So Vesna has done what most teachers do, which is create headings to divide up the course page, which is fantastic. But if you really want to try out the tools, you can also add a welcome message for your students that's a spoken word audio player for them right there on the course page. So the sky's the limit. Your imagination is really the only limit to what you can do with labels. You can really make an engaging and colorful course page for your students that makes them want to visit more and do their homework.
Yes, thank you, Paul. Yeah.
Yeah.
The sky is the limit. And remember, you can just say on your assessment form that there is a label called March 23rd, 2023 in week 1. So when the mentor goes to your course, they know where to look. They are not looking everywhere to find a label. And you may have multiple labels. And if I can't find the one you are referring me to, I can just see, oh yeah, this person has used the label, and that's fine. Like, if it's hard for me to find the one that you want me to see.
That's excellent. Thank you. Just to add too as well, in the stage 2 course, so I'm back in the stage 2 course, there is a link to the stage 2-3 exemplar course, which you'll also be enrolled in. And if you take a look at the stage 2-3 exemplar course, you can see right off the top, this LearnIT2teach banner, that's a label where they've added an image. This line, that's scrolling back and forth because the image is a bit too big, sorry. But below that, you'll see here also in a label is this little welcome section with some notes and an audio player where you can hear a welcome message to the course. This was all recorded using the editing toolbar that you saw in the choice and also in the label. So really the sky's the limit with what you can do, and take a look at the exemplar for ideas and different resources that you can see in action there. Okay, I think maybe should we turn to questions now?
Yes, and there was a question about advantages and disadvantages of Avenue in comparison with Google Classroom.
Yeah, and if I
Yeah.
could, we have in the house with us today,
Yes.
LearnIT2teach.ca, the public portal, Avenue webinars. I'm going to the page of past Avenue webinars, and Jan Artan, one of our superstar mentors out there in the eastern part of Canada, if I can find it here. She did an entire webinar which was comparing the two. Oh, did I scroll past it?
I'm not seeing it at the moment, but we can find it. And I just wanted to say that I haven't used Google Classroom. I hear great things about it.
Here it
What
is.
I can say is that Avenue is supported. You have a whole support system, and it is looked, IRCC supports it. And I would say that you are looking, that they look positively at us using Avenue. And it's great that it's portable, like the e-portfolio is portable anywhere in Canada. If a student moves from one province to another, or from one provider to another in one province or anywhere in Canada, that student's e-portfolio will be there because it's connected to that student's email and not to the course. So that's in short why my organization is using Avenue. The training is free, everything is free.
And if you're already using Google Classroom, you can embed things in Avenue. So you don't need to give up the things you've already created. You can embed them in your Avenue course and have the best of both worlds. Just to throw that out there as well. So that webinar is there on YouTube. You can find it on the page, or I put the link in the chat. And I'm going to take this moment now to respond to a question that came from the registration form. And it's a great question. It's about rubrics. I'll post it in the chat so everyone can see it there. And this question has also been answered by a series of webinars, which were put on by Margarita, one of our other mentors. And I can't see it here just off the top of my eye. Where was it? Here it is, Assignments 101 and Assignments 101 Grades and Feedback. So, oops, oh, I don't know what I did there. Anyway, I've opened something. I've put it in the chat. And then as another example, you'll see below the two videos that I've included there that do answer that question about rubrics. There's also a forum post in the Avenue Teachers Forum where a teacher contributed some ideas for how to use rubrics and the e-portfolio on Avenue. So some great resources from the team and from teachers out there as well. So that was the questions from the registration form. Just going to take a look here. Is there anything more in the chat that we haven't answered? I think we're up to date until, is there a
I
copy
didn't
format
see.
option?
Yeah.
Brush icon and MS Word on Avenue. Needed it many times, but could not find it. There's a good question. I'm not sure I'm familiar with that on Avenue. As I said, I like to clean out the formatting and get rid of the code from different word processing document programs. So I use Notepad a lot, and then I use the editing in Avenue, the toolbar, to do my editing to be sure that it displays the way that I would like. If anyone has an answer to that, though, maybe Jen or Marjan, if you'd like to throw that in the chat. I don't know. Okay, we are running out of time. I'm not seeing more questions popping up. So some general tips just to end. Vesna, if you'd like, we could go through these here. Familiarizing yourself with the layout and content of your course. When you get your course to start stage 2 from your mentor, it's a good idea to go in and look around yourself to see what's there and get an idea for what's there. And you can also get ideas for what you can do with these different activity types when you're creating your own. They do come preloaded with PBLA compatible modules, and everyone is also enrolled in the PBLA sample modules course, where you can see all of those modules there as well. You'll find that on your dashboard. Step by step, introducing Avenue to your students. And I'd like to show you here in my course. I'm going to go back to my course page. Vesna was a huge part of the work that was done at Vancouver Community College. All courses come preloaded. When you get your course, you'll get these sections using the link courseware. That's from us at Avenue. Just going to wait for that to load. And then these lessons at the top of your course page. Welcome to Avenue and Online Learning. These are excellent modules to help your learners with logging in and all the different activity types and things they may need to do in your Avenue course. And as you can see, they were shared with us by Vancouver Community College and Vesna. So I thank them for that. It goes on, lots of activities to support you and your learners, navigating and finding help. There's 5 of those topic sections. So those are really useful and they come preloaded in your course. Using Avenue both synchronously and asynchronously, depending on your mode of delivery. So you can do it both ways. If you're a teacher who's fully online or in a blended environment, Avenue is just tailor-made for you. But as I said, if you are teaching face-to-face only, you can still provide extra resources and extra opportunities for your students to practice and get them logged into Avenue to do that outside of your face-to-face class time. One thing we wanted to mention was creating a sample student account. I just quickly wanted to show what that looks like. If I open up another browser, I'm going to log into Avenue here. And instead of my own email, I've got a fake student that I set up. When I log in as Maria Guptes, the fake student, what I can see is exactly what a student would really see. The teacher view and the student view are a little bit different. I don't like to log in and out or change roles a lot when I'm editing because it takes a bit of time. So if you're logged in with a sample student account that you have enrolled in your course, you can take a look at your course and see what the students would see. So for example, here, print resources, link 5 to 6 classroom activities. This is an Edge on Microsoft. I'm going to jump back here to my Firefox browser where I'm logged in as a teacher. I'm going to go up to the same place in the course here, print resources. I'm going to hide that. So I'm a teacher editing now in my Firefox browser. I'm going to hide the folder of documents. And now, without logging in or out, I can go back to my other browser, Chrome or Microsoft Edge or Safari. And when I click on refresh, notice the print resources. When I click on refresh in the student view, you'll see the print resources in the folder are now gone because I've hidden them in my teacher account. So back on the teacher account, they're still there. If I show it again, I'll just show the word print resources, which is a label, as Vesna demonstrated. Go back here and I hit refresh on my student account and print resources has reappeared. So having a sample student is a great way to test activities, to try things exactly the same way a student would try them in your own course.
I would say, I would add, especially for assessments, if you're using quizzes or other, what is there? I am blanking out on the word assignment. If you're using those functions to test how a student will see it, the best way is to do it as a student, logged in as a student, not just that mode.
Exactly. And just as a final example here, we'll go back to the potluck party that we created. I can now test this with my sample student account. And you'll see that it looks a little bit different than it does for the teacher. The student's going to click Suite. When they save their choice, you can now see that it's going to display for them the choices that have already been made and that lots of students have not answered yet. So a great way to test things, assessments, any kinds of assignments that you create using a sample student.
And Paul, there is a question about the reflective statement and whether it should be 500 to 1,000 for each section of the rubric or as a whole. So for that piece where you have to reflect on,
Yes.
that's what we are referring to.
Definitely. And I believe if I go here, can we see the Word doc again?
Yes, we can see, but I don't think there is
No, there's
there
no
is
guide
a
for that.
no.
And to answer that, it's like everything else in stage 2. And I really stress this when people ask me, how long does it take or how long should it be? It's really a matter of how much do you want to put into it. So some teachers have gone through the thorough section here and written just incredible amounts of details, having surveyed their students, collected the anecdotes. They go above and beyond with what they give me, and it can be over 1,000 words for the whole thing. But then other teachers just kind of go through the good column and or the partial column and sort of give me some basic information about what they experienced and what their students experience. And those are more in the range of 500 words for the whole thing. So I don't like to say it should be this length. What it should be is it should be that you try to get as much as you can out of this free training. If you were to take the same training at a college, for example, you'd be paying thousands of dollars, but IRCC is giving it to LINC teachers for free because they want LINC teachers to be able to effectively use an online solution like Avenue. So this is free training. It's all gravy for you. So I say shoot for 1,000 words for the whole thing and answer that thorough column. You'll understand better your own experience through talking about it in a reflective statement. And you'll also understand your students' experience better if you talk with them or give them some opportunity to give you feedback about what they've experienced online. So I hope that helps with that question. Same with everything. It's what you put into it. So it's quite important that you give it your best shot, I'd say. Okay, well, we've gone over the hour. I don't know if anyone has any really pressing questions. A couple more general tips was to create sample student accounts and write down student passwords. That's a really good one to end the session with. Write down student passwords. That will help you if they forget. You can send it along to them again. You can change a password or create a new one, but it's just easier if you have it already written down from when you set up the student account.
And sometimes students change passwords, so then that won't help. But if your students can't remember it, you can go into the register and just change it and give it to them. Give them a new one if they can't find it or if they're having problems remembering it.
Exactly. Thank you, Vesna. Last but not least, when we send out the YouTube link for the session that we recorded today, it will include a PDF that has this useful links page in it. So those are all the sites that I shared with you today when we were talking about finding help. So that will be part of the package that comes out when the YouTube video is up. Q&A is done. And contact here, if anyone would like to contact us or get in touch with the project or follow us on Twitter, you can do that there. And thank you very much for coming. And thank you very much, Vesna. This has been fun.
Yes, and I hope that this will help you move forward with your training. And I know that sometimes it's a matter of organizations not having or having not having funds to cover this, but you will be more employable because wherever you go, if an organization is using Avenue, you will be having some advantages over the others. So it is also for your own professional development, and maybe you will discover that you love it and you will go on and finish other stages as well.